Now, speaking of massive pitching needs, it looks like a spot in the bullpen has been filled this week. The Mets have signed right-handed reliever Jorge Lopez to a one-year, $2 million contract. Now, after his strong performance in the WBC for Team Puerto Rico, Lopez struggled a lot in 2023, bouncing around three different teams such as the Twins, Orioles, and Marlins. The 30-year-old posted a 5.95 earned run average, 5.76 fielding independent pitching, striking out just 18.4% of batters across 59 innings pitched in relief. Mets president of baseball operations, David Stearns, is very familiar with Lopez for his short tenure in Milwaukee, where he rotated in and out of the Brewers' starting rotation from 2014 to 2018 before being traded to Kansas City at the deadline. If all goes well, given his recent success and experience, Jorge Lopez could be joining the back end of the Mets bullpen come opening day, setting up frontline lefty Brooks Raley and the Mets star closer Edwin Diaz, who will be returning from injury in 2024.
This was one that really surprised me because the first reports that we saw, it was not from a well-known MLB reporter or anything like that. So I was like, is this real? And then eventually we found out it was. And you know what? This is one that I'm happy about. I do like what Jorge Lopez has to bring to the table. Puerto Rican bias aside, the WBC, you could even hear what the other players have said. It's like a playoff atmosphere. Like, it is no joke.
It's as loud as Marlins Park will ever get.
Exactly. Alexis Diaz actually crumbled when the pressure was on. Obviously, the Edwin Diaz injury had something to do with it. But Jorge Lopez, this guy came into some big jams, and he was money. And, and the year before that, he was really good reliever. I'm sure you could give us a better idea of what happened, as far as the numbers and things like that. Because to me, I'm like, how did it go from he's good the year before that, he's good in the WBC, and the season starts, the guy just falls off a cliff. I mean, that whole trajectory didn't make sense to me. But I think this is another one where counting on a bounce back candidate, high upside, stuff is still there. He has all of the ingredients of a Stearns bounce back caliber guy. And again, similar to Luis Severino, this is ultimately going to come down to, can Jeremy Hefner put it back all together? Can the Mets staff get Jorge Lopez back on track? Or maybe just having Edwin Diaz around him will kind of solve everything and get that connection going. But I think that, at his best, not even at 90% of his best, this is a good pitcher and a lot better than what the Mets had in the bullpen right now. Because like we talked about, when you look at just those names on the 40-man roster, especially in the pitching department, yikes. So to get a guy like Lopez for that low of AAV, another one-year deal, which you always love with relievers. And again, it's a guy who, if he's doing really good, team's bad, you could trade him off, similar to Severino, or, if he's great, I mean, that just helps you down the road. So I definitely like this move because the AV was so low, and I think that this is a prime bounce back candidate. So I'm very good with this.
I mean, you told me that we can get an insight of I could give you an insight on what really happened with Jorge Lopez last year. To be honest, I don't know. I really actually don't know because overall, everything that he was able to throw last year, it still projects well. Like, it still just was able to project well, even just throughout a down year season. I think it's just like an extra tick that went down in velocity. It seems like the fastball and the sinker usage was very erratic. Like, it just went up and down a little bit. There was some confidence issues or something like that. But then he also has this ridiculous, like hard spitting knuckle curve and things like that. I think that this is a perfect example of what Stearns has been able to do for so goddamn long. They're not going off of track record. They're not going off of all of these pieces that had a good ERA last year or 2 years ago. They're going strictly off of tools and pure talent and ability, because what people don't understand, tools are a better way to evaluate than stats, because tools create stats. So when you look at this right now, this is someone who's got a hard sinker, just ridiculous movement, basically like 3 different angles from 5 different pitches. I don't know if he would do better as like a 2-pitch type of guy or something like this, but he also has like this very big meta slider that like cuts very hard. So that's something that could really be good. And it seems like Stearns really has a type for these cutting edge sliders. Again, at the right time, this is, if you can put it all together, he can contribute well, because he's at age 30 right now. That's the reliever prime right there. As Stearns, who has seen the ins and outs of what has gone on with Jorge Lopez, of who was called up as a rookie when Stearns was there, feeling a need, if it all goes well, of another guy who can actually throw fucking hard in this bullpen. I'm so happy that they went with this direction, a 1-year deal. Like, I'm glad that this could be our Ottavino. The 1 year, $2 million, $3 million. This is your Aaron Loop. This is high profile stuff that can produce a lot. And that's what I really like about this addition. Is it all they need to do in the bullpen? Absolutely not. This is someone who, if he does pitch well, he is a back end threat in that bullpen to protect Edwin Diaz. And, you know, you're looking for a bounce back. And I think that the Mets are going to look into someone who has definitely done well recently. I think that they are going to go after somebody like that, whether it is like Robert Stevenson or whether it is like, you know, I don't know if it's, I doubt it's Liam Hendricks, but somebody like that, I think that they're going to add to this bullpen. But I think that this is the perfect upswing of somebody who can project very well. And I think that out of all of the people to trust with this type of situation, Stearns is the guy to do it. It's always a wait and see of what he's going to be able to do, but this is a good direction to go in. And I really do like how the Mets are kind of ignoring this whole, how they have done statistically, how they have done in the past recently, and how that's going to project to the next day. They're using tools and ability and talent, and that's what produces those types of stats if you get it right. And that's that is the direction that they need to go in with these relievers. And it's not just he had an ERA, he had a this, he had a that. He did well for a while, and just stop picking up garbage. Like, that's literally it. Just stop picking up garbage. And out of all of these relievers and all these pieces of tools and ability, I have not been dissatisfied with any one of them. I understand exactly why they like them. Again, they still have to execute it, but it is in the right direction. And what I really, really like about all of these arms that they have brought in, from the Austin Adams or the Michael Tonkin, I don't know who's the other guy they brought in. All these other guys they brought in the major league deals, even on some of the minor league deals, they all have one thing in common. They don't have command issues. And this has been the biggest goddamn problem with the Mets. The freaking home run ball, especially from the bullpen. The home run ball has been a massive problem for the Mets for a long goddamn time. Command is hard to fix. Control can be tweaked. Pitch shape can be tweaked. All these types of things. But when you have that one piece of command, you're going to go very far with the tools that you have. And that's what the Mets are looking at so far. Hopefully they don't disappoint me, but I'm tired of the hard contact. I'm tired of the home runs. I'm tired of them being given up in big spots. Fuck you, Drew Smith.